Good morning. Today is just one of those days, right? One of those days where, it's actually difficult to come to the gym. Okay, so usually the way I do it is I set myself up for success, right? So usually most of the days is quite easy for me. But from time to time, there's still some of these days where, motivation is at its lowest. Okay, and it doesn't help that we have to train legs today. But the key is, you have to treat fitness like a full-time job, okay? If you want it to be part of your lifestyle, that means regardless whether you like it or not, whether you feel your best or not, okay, you should have to show up to work, right? So here I am, okay? So, but of course we try to be smart and, because the key is we don't want to get injured, right? And just because it's a bad day, then we still want to try to push. Okay, so few things, right? So one thing is definitely, like I said, expectation, right? So yesterday had a low. Okay, so I was expecting, to hit a couple new lows these next few days. Okay, but my weight went up, right? So I know exactly what happened. Okay, had high sodium yesterday. Also had more whole foods. What this means is like the volume is heavier, right? So naturally gain some weight. So that really took a dip in my motivation. Also, my sleep last night was quite bad. For some reason, I had some trouble falling asleep. Okay, so I think that really did affect. Okay, but I know once I'm done with this workout, I'll feel 100 times better. So let's get to it. Okay, so on days like this, warm up, right? I also just sort of recovered. Okay, in terms of my sickness, definitely feeling like more or less 80-90%. Okay, so that's at least one positive thing, right? But then still want to take it easy. So let me show you how to take it easy but still get a good workout in. So always start with some sort of isolation to pre-exhaust. So when it comes to the compound movement, you don't have to lift as heavy. So the plan is very simple, okay? On days like this, I just want to keep my workout very simple, right? So everything I think will be around the 8 to 12 rep range. So I'll just keep warming up with 12 reps until I find a weight that I can't hit 12. Then I will go from there. Oh. The next one might be it. Oh. Okay, so right there was a pretty good set. Okay, but I did hit 12. So not counting that as a working set. At least 2 will do. Okay. I can really feel, you know, my mood getting better, right? So on days where you feel, not your best, really start off with something that is easier to do. Okay, so today is legs day. If I were to come here and start off with squats, right, the workout will definitely be harder than it should, right? But starting off with something like a leg extension, come on. Okay, once the blood gets into your body, okay, you'll be good to go. Oh my god. Yeah, see what I mean? Getting stronger. So, might be too conservative with the weight increment. Okay, finally. That's the first working set. I think about, let's do 3 sets here. I think it will be just nice. Whew. Yeah, one last one. Okay, last one. Okay, so one more thing I've been doing as of lately is really, the heavier I go, the more controlled I want my reps to be. Okay, so, try not to train the ego too much. I already have a big enough ego. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, still not going to failure, right? Because I just recovered from some sort of sickness, right? So, I want to take it easy. Let's move on. Should I do hex squat? Okay, so now that we are warm, time to move on to the first compound. Okay, so same thing here. Going to keep rep range between 8 to 12. Okay. Now it's really just to find the first working set. Okay. Holy cardio. I got a feeling my working set will be somewhere around 30%. Yeah, definitely feels difficult. Okay, come on, let's go. Oh. Okay. Okay, so I definitely could push, potentially could get 12, right? But then, like I said, okay, today, not feeling the best. Okay, trying to be smart about it. Alright, so maintain this weight. Okay, I'll see next set if I can push. Okay, so today, not going as heavy as usual, right? Okay, but to make up for it, okay, taking shorter rest times. Okay, it's really all about the trade-offs and the give and takes. Okay. Okay. Whew. Okay, last one. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Just for context, my all-time best, okay, if I'm not wrong, is 40 for, I think, 13 reps. But then, that's when I was, feeling my best and also starting the exercise fresh. That means no pre-exhaust. So honestly, 33 sets of 9 is, quite a difference. Okay, but then I still feel it's really all about how hard you can train on a specifically given day, right? Okay, so days like this, as long as I know I'm training as hard as I can reasonably without getting hurt, okay, I think that's definitely more than enough. It's all about the long term. Okay, so my last exercise of quads, right? So for this, I wouldn't mind going a little crazier since it's essentially like my last, right? Don't have to leave anything behind, okay? But you shall see lah. It's really more of listening to your body on days like this. One. Yep. Okay. Definitely way weaker today. Whew. Okay, so this is what I mean by listening to your body, right? Normally, 20 per side is a walk in the park, but not today, right? So, gotta leave the ego at the door, drop weight, okay? Gonna focus on slightly higher reps. Okay, more time under tension. Okay. 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 Yeah, I think that's a good sign to cut it. Okay. Okay, hamstrings. I think, don't know, either straight sets or pyramid sets. So let's see. Let's do one first and see how it feels. Okay. Yeah, I think pyramid sets. Okay. Oh. Whew. Okay. Okay. Yep. Do one more. Should be just nice. Okay. Okay, I think I can do one more. So this is also another example of listening to your body, right? Okay, I feel like even though I said 3 sets, right? But then if I feel I have one more in me, okay, why not? Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay, next up, some toes elevated stiff leg. Okay, high reps. I think 10 to 20. Okay, I don't know how many I got, but that is to mild discomfort. Okay, didn't quite hit my targeted rep range. Okay, but I think this weight is still manageable. So let's just try to do more reps. Same weight. Okay. Okay. Oh, good. One more. Okay. Oh. 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 Okay, perfect. Whew. Okay, so almost done with the workout. Just some adductors and abductors. Okay, then maybe some calves. Okay, so for the adductors already warm up. The plan is straight sets. Okay, anywhere between 10 to 20 reps. Okay, so already warm up. Okay, make sure to warm up. Okay, so I'm also doing it legs closer to me. Okay, I find that harder, right? So yeah. Okay. Okay. So I also realized on days like this, right? Okay, you can still push really hard on the isolation because I think it's more the mental fatigue than anything. Right? So pick your battles. Okay, so for the last set, legs further apart. Okay, should be easier so I can get this slightly higher reps. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Straight away do some warm up with the abductors. Okay, so I think for the abductors, pyramid sets sounds about right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Whew. Okay, so last set, same thing. Gonna go legs further apart, right? Should be lighter. Okay, let's last set finish strong. Oh, okay. Let's move on to calves. Whew. Okay, so calves, I think 3 sets, seated, heavy 8 to 12 reps. Okay, then after this, we'll decide if we want to do one standing one. Okay, or maybe some donkey. Okay. one thing I know for a fact is this is going to destroy my calves. They're going to be so sore. Okay. 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 Beautiful. Do some donkey calf raise. Okay, this will be higher reps. Okay, more stretch and squeeze focus. Okay. Yeah, not bad. So I think 2 plates will be the perfect weight. Let's see. Okay, so I think one thing to do is really, okay, because as I leave this thing will unwrap, right? So I think, yeah, I cannot. I thought I can. Okay. Yeah. Beautiful. So, for the seated, it targets more of the soleus. For this, more on the gastrocnemius. Okay. Yeah, so I was quite tempted to increase weight, right? But okay, I think I did the right choice by maintaining and then improving the form. Whew. Okay, last one. Okay. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that's how you do it. Okay, so regardless, just show up, right? Even if you only can give 50% of your usual effort, right? Okay, the key is really show up, stay consistent, okay? Because there's always bound to be good days and bad days, right? So if you can just focus on being consistent, right? Okay, there'll be more good days than bad, hopefully. Okay, but even if there are more bad days, you still show up, right? So consistency is really like a muscle. You have to train it. Okay, so see you guys tomorrow.